What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today we got some breaking news out of the Supreme Court. Guys, I cannot believe we're still dealing with this bull with a 6-3 majority. Well, quote-unquote 6-3. It's more like 5-3-1. Sometimes it's 4-3-2, but either way, with a 6-3 majority, this type of crap shouldn't be happening. Supreme Court backs landmark voting rights law, strikes down Alabama's congressional map. Yep, it just came out with this ruling. The justices threw out a Republican draw congressional district that a lower court said discriminated against black voters. This map here, right here, this 6-1 map, it's illegal. Now, they are making it essentially 5-2. And the worst part, if Republicans don't challenge through other lawsuits, and we'll get to that in a second, there is potential. This spreads to Louisiana. This spreads to Georgia. This spreads to Florida. This spreads to South Carolina. This spreads to Texas. Somebody did the estimate. We could lose upwards of 10 congressional seats just in this one ruling. 10. And we thought what happened in New York was going to be bad enough. Can you imagine if we lose 10 congressional districts? Because not only is the Supreme Court useless, but so is the Republican Party. It's beyond frustrating that we're still dealing with this bull. But it isn't all gloom and doom, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below. Guys, go follow Real American Politics on Twitter. It is a great Twitter account everyone should follow. Of course, follow the Rumble page down below for exclusive content. And of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you can join Real American, which is a phenomenal deal, as help support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Also, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, we will be going live with a 2024 Democratic presidential primary prediction. Yeah, we're predicting the Democrat primary, even though it's kind of a sure thing Biden's going to be the nominee. It still will be fascinating to see how many delegates do in fact go for RFK and whoever. So I hope everyone tunes in. Of course, top right corner, you will see a link to the stream. Click it, share with your friends, like the stream, and of course click the notification button. So when the second the stream starts, you get notified. So I hope and recommend everyone tunes in tonight. Alright, everybody. So yeah, the Supreme Court, excuse me, just ruled that the 6-1 map is illegal. And I'm not going to be one of those partisan hacks to say, oh, this map was clean. This was one of the worst ways Republicans could have drawn the map. It was. But either way, that's not what they ruled on. Like, I agree. If they said, look, redraw the maps because this looks hideous, that's one thing. They said, nope, you gotta redraw the map because it somehow discriminates against black voters. So they're gonna be forcing a second majority black district in Alabama. Yeah. And you know, that's gonna be like what? Probably gonna vote Democrat? And that's not just a problem. The problem is the pure hypocrisy of the Supreme Court. They won't take rulings from, I don't know, let's go to Illinois. This is somehow fair. I'm not defending Alabama's map. They can make it way better than it is, absolutely. But this is apparently fair. This map on the right. Look at this. The Springfield district. This is apparently a fair map. Somehow, this is fair. But, according to the Supreme Court, what the heck? What? Yeah, so, according to the Supreme Court, a state like, I don't know, let's go to Florida, that's a potential state that could get overturned. This is an unfair map, according to the Supreme Court, if they expand this to other states, which is possible. So this is just impacting Alabama for now. But there's a serious chance that if Republicans don't play this correctly, they're not just going to lose one seat. You could potentially lose multiple seats. But again, it's just stupid the Supreme Court would say a map like this is unfair because, the VRA protected districts, even though it's arguably unconstitutional, where, the only way you could draw a majority black district in, say, Florida 5th, is you have to stretch it from Tallahassee to Jacksonville. That's fair. But no, this isn't fair here because it's discriminating against black voters. Even though this map looks clean, it really doesn't split that much. So, you see the problem with this ruling? They're focusing on these minority protected districts. But it's like, focus on community of interest. The voters in Tallahassee are not the same voters as Jacksonville. And similar thing as Alabama. I mean, again, I understand District 7, this is disgusting. Birmingham really doesn't have much in common with Montgomery. That could be the case. So I agree. It should be based on community of interest. So there should be a district surrounding Montgomery. Not one district that encompasses, 3 cities at once. Again, I know Alabama, these cities don't have the largest populations compared to, say, Dallas. But still, I could see that argument. But to say just, if you're black, you automatically get a district? That's absurd. And that's always been my problem. And the Supreme Court rules on that. However, and I did say there was a catch, that, this may not be all gloom and doom for Republicans. You read between the lines. The court left open future challenges to the law, with Kavanaugh writing a separate opinion that his vote did not rule out challenges to Section 2 based on whether there was a time at which the 1965 law's authorization of the consideration of race in redistricting is no longer justified. This is the catch. What this means is, hey, yes, they ruled on the merits of the Section 2, but Alabama, apparently, according to people on Twitter and stuff, they didn't even challenge Section 2. They apparently challenged, a provision within Section 2 saying, that's too lenient or whatever. Not the law itself. You see the problem with that? That Alabama did not challenge the law itself, instead try to go on some egregious argument, and I decided to read part of the opinion. I can understand why now, to a lesser extent, why Kavanaugh ruled like he did. He didn't say Section 2 is legal or not. He just said, based on what you're asking, you did break the law. You did violate it. So that is the one catch that may save Republicans. Because there is another case coming up with, I believe, the state of Louisiana. Over, again, I'm not defending these maps because you could have done this way better. I understand that it's parishes and stuff is a little bit different, and I know precincts in the South, they look hideous. I understand that, but, dude, you could have drew these maps a bit better. But apparently they're going after, potentially getting a second majority-minority district. That's apparently what's going to happen, or they're trying to at least, in the state of Louisiana. But apparently they're going to argue that Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is actually illegal. So this VRA protected nonsense, which I've always said was illegal, the only thing that should be a federal law is districts should be as compact as possible, keep community of interest together, and then talk about, partisan lean to a lesser extent. Like, okay, if a state's 99%, or, if there's only 2 districts and it's like 70% Republican, or 60, the Republicans probably will get both districts. But if it's California and Republicans get around 30% of the vote and there's 50 districts, they should roughly get like 20 or 30% of the districts. That's always been kind of my philosophy, especially with bigger states, because they got more leeway. Not like Ohio, where they only got, what, 16? I believe they got 16 or 15 districts. It's a little bit harder to manage than, 50, like California does. But outside of that, these minority protected districts are nonsensical. When in some states, whites are the minority. In like New Mexico. So it's like, do they get protected districts? No, of course they don't. And now there's question about a majority gay district. When does this end? What's next? Majority transsexual? Or transgender, whatever? That's the problem I have with Section 2. Just say, do not split community of interest. That means you cannot say split Baton Rouge in half unnecessarily and put in the same district as New Orleans. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, a single precinct in Baton Rouge can't be in a district with New Orleans. Just, you can't split it in half like this. That's a fair argument, but to say, it's based on race? I mean, there could be significant differences of the community of Baton Rouge than there is of New Orleans. And same thing with, let's go with Wisconsin, for example. Like Eau Claire. It has significantly different, values and stuff than, say, Madison. So to try to put the suburbs of Madison in the same district as Wisconsin 3rd seems a bit egregious. So that's always been my stance, and I hope the Supreme Court, which, when you start reading between the lines, Kavanaugh is open to it. And this was only a 5-4 decision. So they didn't question the legality of Section 2. They just questioned a provision within it that was, when you read it, you realize there's no way they're going to overturn this. But there is a possibility. If you read between the lines, there absolutely can be an overturn of Section 2. So potentially, we may not lose any districts at all. Maybe we actually gain a couple House seats. But knowing the Republican Party, they're not going to. They're going to bend the knee and just say, we're not going to challenge Section 2. Even though, let's be real, when you read it, it's blatantly unconstitutional. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in tonight's live stream. Godspeed to all of you.